All right, we are about to dive into one of the biggest, most mind-bending ideas I've come across from a piece called the Pan-Solar Sensorium. We're going to take a tour of our solar system, but trust me, this is not the one you learned about in school. This is a journey into the truly strange and utterly wonderful world of alien perception.
You know, this has been the question forever, right? We've been scanning the skies for radio signals, for little green men, basically assuming that life out there would look, well, a lot like us. But what if we've been asking the question all wrong? What if the answer has been right here in our own cosmic backyard this whole time?
This line is straight from the source material, and wow, it just hits you. The argument is that life isn't just a possibility out there, it's a reality everywhere in our solar system. We just couldn't see it because, well, we were only looking for a mirror.
To even get our heads around this, we have to completely rethink what life even is. See, biology is basically the universe's ultimate problem solver. It doesn't need a perfect, cozy, Earth-like planet to get started. All it needs is some kind of energy source and time. And on every single world, it solved the problem of survival by evolving completely new ways of perceiving reality.
You know, this really puts our own experience into perspective. We think sight and sound are the default ways to experience the universe, but they're just one tiny, tiny window. As we're about to see, life out there might experience reality through searing heat or magnetic fields or even the actual texture of the wind. So let's start our tour in the fiery heart of it all.
First stop, the inner solar system. These are the worlds forged in the sun's absolute furnace. And we're starting with the closest one of all, Mercury.
Mercury is just a world of brutal extremes. One side is hot enough to literally melt lead, while the other side is colder than anything you'd find on Earth. There's no atmosphere to balance things out, so you'd think nothing could possibly live there. But deep underground, life found a way.
The solution is this incredible sense called hyperthermoception. These silicon-based creatures, these leviathans, they don't have eyes. Instead, they see with heat. They have this network of metallic capillaries that can feel the tiniest temperature changes through solid rock. So they're constantly on the move, migrating through the planet's crust, always chasing that perfect Goldilocks temperature zone right in the twilight, just beneath the surface. They can literally feel the sunrise coming through the rock, and they just move away from it. Amazing.
Okay, next up is Venus, what they call Earth's twisted sister. And for good reason. Forget blue skies, this place is a crushing, acidic hellscape. Just think about that number for a second. 92 times our atmosphere. Being on the surface of Venus is like being almost a kilometer deep in the ocean. The air is so thick, it's not even really a gas anymore. It's this weird state called a supercritical fluid, somewhere between a liquid and a gas. It's a horrible place if you have lungs, but it's an absolutely incredible medium for sound.
So what did life do? It just gave up on sight completely. Instead, it evolved this supercritical sonar. By sending out these little acoustic clicks, they get back a picture so unbelievably detailed it's like an X-ray. They can see the internal organs of another creature from a mile away. It makes our own hearing struggling through our thin air seem, well, pretty pathetic by comparison. On Venus, the very thing that makes the environment so hostile is what unlocked this powerful new sense.
So before we head out to the gas giants, let's just pause for a second and turn the lens back on ourselves. Because to really understand how alien these senses are, we have to first get a handle on our own limitations.
This slide really says it all, doesn't it? Our senses aren't the universal default. They're hyper-specialized tools for one very specific, very gentle little planet. We are absolute masters of our own little sensory bubble, but we are completely, blissfully unaware of the vast realities that life on other worlds gets to experience every single day.
Okay, buckle up. Now we journey past the asteroid belt, out to the giant worlds, where the rules of physics and biology get truly, truly weird.
First up, Mars. To us, it's a cold, dead, rusty desert. But just beneath the surface, life is hanging on, and it's facing some huge challenges. Brutal solar radiation, a whisper-thin atmosphere, and no global magnetic field to act as a shield.
So how in the world does it survive? Well, it evolved this incredible toolkit of senses that all work together. First, they see in ultraviolet light. This makes different minerals glow in unique, almost psychedelic colors, creating a kind of chemical map of their surroundings. Second, they can actually feel small pockets of magnetism left in the crust, which they use as little radiation umbrellas to hide under.
And third, they can smell a single ice crystal turning to vapor from miles away. It's 3 distinct senses all working in perfect harmony to navigate a world that to our eyes just looks empty.
And now, the king of planets. Jupiter isn't even a solid world. It's a bottomless ocean of gas. And the life here is on a scale that is just hard to comprehend. We're talking about continent-sized creatures that just float in the upper atmosphere, feeding on chemicals that are literally created by the planet's massive lightning storms. So how do you find your next meal in a world that big? Simple. You listen to the planet itself. These leviathans evolved radio perception. See, Jupiter is a gigantic radio transmitter, and they have these organic antennae that are miles long, tuned perfectly to its frequencies. They can literally hear the radio static of lightning, guiding them to a developing storm on the complete other side of the planet. It's unbelievable.
All right, next is Saturn, a planet defined by its 2 most famous features, those beautiful, iconic rings and its absolutely terrifying winds, which can reach almost 2,000 kilometers an hour.
I just love this quote. Life on Saturn doesn't fight the wind. It becomes part of it. These creatures possess a sense called anematoxis. Their whole bodies are covered in millions of microscopic hairs that feel the texture of the wind, the subtle shifts in pressure, velocity, and temperature. For them, the air isn't empty. They surf these supersonic currents as if they were a solid, tangible landscape.
And finally, we get to the ice giants, where things get about as strange as they can possibly get. On Uranus, a single night lasts for 21 Earth years, so life there evolved chronoperception. They can literally feel the planet's exact position in its orbit, so they know precisely when to begin their 2-decade-long hibernation. And then there's Neptune, where it rains solid diamonds. The creatures there evolved piezoelectric perception. They can't see the diamond showers, but they can feel the static electricity they generate, which allows them to weave through these deadly storms completely unharmed.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. When you take a step back and look at all this, you realize our solar system isn't just a collection of cold, lonely worlds. It's an orchestra of perception.
Just look at this list: seeing heat through rock, hearing with high-res sonar, feeling magnetism, hearing planetary radio waves, tasting the wind, sensing the passage of orbital time. Each and every planet, with its uniquely hostile environment, forced life to come up with a completely new way to experience reality. Each one is a totally different instrument in this grand cosmic symphony.
I think I'll just leave you with this final, beautiful line from the source material. We look up at the sky, and we see these silent, dead worlds. But if we could just borrow their senses for even a moment, we'd see a system that is vibrant, complex, and absolutely thrumming with life in every corner.
So it just leaves you wondering, right? If our own backyard is this rich with ways of seeing and feeling that we can't even begin to fathom, what else is out there? What other senses, what other realities are just waiting to be perceived out there in the galaxy? If only we knew how to look.
Please like and subscribe.